What's going on, everyone? So the other day, the Los Angeles Lakers signed Ty Abbott to the lead player development coach. So he is expected to lead the charge. He comes from the Chicago Bulls. Now, I am very big on the Zach LaVine wagon. I am huge on the Zach LaVine wagon. I think he just makes a ton of sense as far as like getting that upgraded player that can come in, you can plug and play, you can play off ball, you can play on ball, gives you that just proven bucket getter and scorer, gives you that bona fide third option, right? Gives you a guy that also would help you kind of take a ton of pressure off of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And top of that, you kind of clear several roster spots, which is what the Lakers want to do. Top of that, you get to keep all your assets because you don't have to give up anything to go get Zach LaVine. So now you can, whatever you have left, player-wise, and then pick-wise, you can go get that other piece or two, right? So it's not like it's just Zach LaVine and that's it, right? It's not like, oh, man, if we get Zach LaVine, like, we can't make any other. No, like you could go get Zach LaVine and then go get a Walker Kessler or another piece or something, right? And you'd have all your assets to go do that. So to me, I just really like the idea of Zach LaVine. Also, he's just he's a proven bucket getter. I know people have concerns about the contract, but again, the new CBA is kicking, or not CBA, TV deal. New TV deal's kicking in, which is going to make his contract more and more digestible. Top of that, like, people usually point to like the injury history with him, but outside of last season, which yes, he played 25 games, which he still gave you a 50 piece during that time, but I digress. Now, yes, he played 25 games last year, but he was expected to play the rest of the season, and then the Detroit Pistons rumors happened, and he was like, quoting Austin Reeves, I ain't going to Detroit type thing, and he ends up going and getting surgery, and even Chicago's like, surgery? Like, nobody knew that he needed to have surgery. So how much of it was he needed to have surgery, and how much of it was like he just didn't want to go to Detroit? So that was kind of his get out of jail free card by going to Detroit, or not having to go to Detroit, right? And then you look at the previous years, and he played 77 games, and he played 67 games. And, as long as he plays around 65 games, I'm okay with that, right? I mean, the reason the NBA made the threshold for accolades and stuff 65 games is because no one plays 82 games anymore. Unless your name is Mikal Bridges, right? Like, guys just don't do that anymore. I know Austin Reeves did it the past year, but for the most part, especially stars or all-star level players, they're all playing like 65 games anyway. Anybody we trade for is only going to play like 65 games anyway. So as long as he could give you that, we're good. Gucci. And if he doesn't really have to work as hard on the offensive side and have as big of a usage and need, then that could also help him just kind of stay healthier. Also, the defensive side of things. A lot of people act like he's just this bum, this scrub on defense, which he's not. But even on his like bad years, right? Like when he's locked in, engaged, and focused, he's actually good defensively. Right? He's better than all the guys we have right now. Not named Jared Vanderbilt. So I'm talking about guard position, right? So again, and that's if he buys in, which again, if he's not responsible for as big of a workload, particularly offensively, and he can kind of just go out there, go get you 15 to 20 a night and buy in on the defensive side, could go a long way, right? So again, I like the way and the acquisition of Zach LaVine. I'll touch on that here some more because I do have some other kind of thoughts on Zach LaVine being a Laker. But the reason I'm bringing up Ty as well as Zach LaVine is because Ty got the job to the Lakers, and who congratulated him? Who has a good relationship with Ty? Zach LaVine does, right? And could Ty be that nudge to go get Zach LaVine? Because we haven't really heard anything in regards to Zach LaVine potentially to the Lakers. It's kind of just been myself and many of you that agree, like, hey, we need and should go after Zach LaVine. But for the most part, there was interest at the trade deadline. Lakers were very interested in Zach LaVine at the trade deadline and the idea of bringing in Zach LaVine. And then the injuries happened, and they were like, oh, let's not do that. And then, of course, the surgery. And then you get into the offseason, and there was this expectation of, oh, no, they're going to circle back around and see what's up with Zach LaVine. And so far, really nothing. They've been trying to get Jeremy Grant and all that stuff. Now, how much of that is like the Lakers know, like he's not going anywhere, right? Like how much of that is like everyone knows, like, you know, he like there's no rush or urgency. It's not like he has this huge market and everybody's got to go, you know, like, man, we got to hurry up. No, like, you know, if you're the Lakers, you know, the deal will be there today. It'll be there a month from now, right? So you could get it done by training camp if you wanted to do it. So I don't think that that's something that is this sense of urgency. I think that that could be potentially one of the reasons why the Lakers maybe haven't, or you haven't heard the rumors really about it. But now that you have Ty, can he kind of go in there and, you know, kind of maybe influence that a little bit, right? Can he go in there and kind of be like, hey, man, look, Zach LaVine, he's good, right? Like, he could help a ton. He fits, he's that, right? You got me as the lead guy. I'm sure that they're going to want his opinion because, look, not just that, but player development is not just for the rookies and the young players, and, you know, second-year guys or the G League guys or the two-way guys. It's for everybody, right? It's for LeBron, it's for AD, it's for Reeves, it's for Vando, it's for, like, that's the whole point, right? Like, yes, you want a quality development crew to mold, shape, and work out the young guys, but you also want them to be able to help with making guys better. I mean, as great as LeBron is, he could always be better. He could, you know, be a better shooter or, you know, work on his handles better, right? There's always things that you can find that he can improve on and areas he can improve on, right? So I would imagine the Lakers are going to ask his opinion on things, right? I'm not saying he's the decision maker. I'm not saying he's the guy that, hey, you know, we're thinking about Jeremy Grant or Cam Johnson, you know, and he decides that that's the be all end all. But I do think that they would look at it like, hey, who would, you know, because you're going to be working with these guys. You're going to be developing with these guys. Hey, what are your thoughts? Not just that, but JJ Redick himself has said that he really wants a collective effort across the board. So if JJ is being asked on roster decisions and stuff, why wouldn't JJ relay and speak to his staff and go, hey guys, what do you think about this guy? Where do you think we can slot him in? I'm thinking this. Do you think, you know, do you agree? Do you think something else? Do you have let me hear your pros and cons. That's the whole point of this, you know, collectiveness, right? That's the whole point of this, like, hey, let's all get together and try to work this out, right? So, you know, maybe, again, Ty can kind of influence a little bit. I mean, obviously he just got there, so I don't think he has, like, a ton of pull, right? I don't think he's a guy that's just like, yeah, hey, you guys need to go get Zach LaVine right now, and they're like, done, right? Like, no, but I could see him being, you know, maybe kind of throwing his hat in the ring if they're, you know, hey, like, what guys that are available do you think would make sense? You know, what are your thoughts? Like, where's your head at? Oh, and maybe he throws out, like, hey, go get a Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine would be great, right? And maybe the Lakers kind of nudge that. But, again, Zach LaVine solves most of our issues. Not all of them, right? Like, we still could use another center. We still use a legit 3-and-D wing, right? But he solves the athleticism out on the perimeter, particularly at the guard position. He's a guy that can be initiator and fill in that void, right? Especially if you're trading D'Lo. He's not a point guard, and he's not like the playmaker that D'Lo is, but he is a guy that is comfortable in initiating the offense, bringing the ball up. I mean, he's done it pretty much everywhere he goes. So he's a guy that, especially with JJ's offense and he wants to run and kind of just getting that first pass and then everything just kind of starts flowing, I think he could play that role. Gives you, again, that rim pressure, that mid-range, the three-point shooting. He's one of the best catch-and-shoot three-point shooters in the league, right? Like, all of these factors, I think you just added alongside Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Good luck. You know, and I know, like, people go, yeah, but you'd have to trade Rui and you know, D'Lo and Gabe Vincent to just go get him. And it's like, where were those guys in the playoffs? If we had Zach LaVine rather than those three, we probably beat Denver. We might even be in the NBA championship, right? Like, because again, Rui was completely non-existent. He was a no-show. D'Angelo Russell, he was good in like half the games, right? But again, not all of them. And then Gabe Vincent, again, I mean, defensively, but outside of that, like, he barely played and he was injured all season, right? So if you swap those three with Zach LaVine last season, I mean, as close and tight as those games were, you don't think Zach LaVine would have helped, be the difference maker? Maybe even if we don't win the series, maybe it goes to 7, right? Like, I just think you probably win that 20-point game because you would just had another guy besides LeBron to go get buckets, right? Like, I really like the idea of Zach LaVine. Like, I've been on Zach LaVine since the previous trade deadline. I like DeMar DeRozan too and guys like that. But, Zach LaVine, obviously DeJounte Murray, I wanted DeJounte Murray. But Zach LaVine, I was all for, right? Like, always. Like, and I still am. And I still think that it would be an excellent decision to go get Zach LaVine. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think, like, yeah, look, Zach LaVine, Ty, start kind of poking the bear a little bit and trying to convince them to go after Zach LaVine? Do you think, no, leave Zach LaVine where he's at? Stay away from him. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.